In this video we're going to look at how to edit a risk assessment. Now, the first thing we notice when we look at our dashboard is that we now have one risk assessment to review. Risk assessments appear in the review list once the date of the next review has passed, prompting us just to look again at the risk assessment and make sure that it is still accurate. So we can go ahead and open the risk assessment. Now we may decide, for instance, that one of the risks is no longer appropriate to this risk assessment and we want to remove it. To do that, just click on Remove. In removing a risk from a risk assessment, you are not deleting it. It remains in your library available to use again. You are simply just removing it from the risk assessment. Now we may decide that another risk needs updating. So we can click on Edit and edit the risk assessment. So we can make any changes that we want and then click Save. On some risks, you will see this blue bar at the top, which is just warning you that this risk is used in multiple risk assessments. So any changes you make to this risk will be updated to those other risk assessments as well. So we can find out which risk assessments those are by clicking on the plus symbol at the side of the risk and then clicking on the number of risk assessments this risk is used in. And this will show us which risk assessments that risk is linked to. If we want to make a change to this risk, but without updating any other risk assessments, first of all, we could need to remove it from this risk assessment. And then we can add it back in, but this time we can copy it to the assessment. So this creates a fresh copy in this risk assessment, which we can then edit without affecting any other risk assessment. Once we've made all the changes that we want to and we are happy with the risk assessment, we can then click on Edit right at the top. This also allows us, if we want to change the name of the risk assessment, change its format, update the category or section. And once we are happy, we can set a new review date. Again, either by using a custom date or by selecting a review period of a number of months. And then we can mark that the review has been complete, and this will allow the review date to update. So once we have updated the risk assessment, we can now see that it's disappeared from our risk assessments to review. Once you have finished with the risk assessment, you can do one of two things with it. You can either send it to your archive, so the risk assessment remains there and you can view it again at a later date, but it disappears from your active risk assessments list. If you want to get back to it again, you can click on View Archive to view all your archived risk assessments. And if you want to reactivate this risk assessment, all you need to do is open it, click on Edit, and then click on Unarchive to bring it back into the active list. If you decide that you want to get rid of the risk assessment completely, you can also delete it via the Edit menu. And again, this doesn't delete the risks, it simply deletes the risk assessment, but all the risks remain in your library to be able to use again. And that is how you can edit a risk assessment.